What's up, everybody? This is Abhinav here. We're back with another live stream. As you can see, I've changed up the design of the stream. It looks a little different. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Um, Sit back, get comfortable. We're about to begin. This is going to be a I'd say maybe 1 hour live stream where we discuss ideas for the 10K Designers website. This is a website that doesn't exist yet, 10kdesigners.com, and we're going to discuss what can be done. We're going to come up with new ideas for it. We're going to put all these ideas down. The ideas that you guys share, we're going to put it down, um, and then we're going to actually design this website. So what I'm going to do just right now is I'm going to go live on Instagram as well, so people that don't miss it. What's up, Instagram? Live right now on YouTube. We're doing a Figma tutorial today. It's not really a tutorial, it's more of a community brainstorming where we figure out together what the 10K Designers website is about to have. Let me just. This light is too bright, man. I think that's kind of better. What's up, everybody? Now, for everybody watching, I want you guys to tell me what do you guys think of the stream design. For people who are on Instagram, you actually can't see this. We have a stream going on here. People on YouTube, give me just a second. In the meanwhile, I'm going to share the link to Figma. I want all of you guys to jump in right now and chill out in the lounge. What's up, everybody? Give me a second. I'm going to tell you guys how you can access the Figma on Instagram. What's up, everybody? We're live in two places at once. We're live on Instagram as well as YouTube. So, everybody in the stream right now, I want you guys to open up this Figma file. This is where we're going to be designing today. I'm just going to drop a message in our group. What's up, everybody? We're about to get started in just a bit. For people who are watching on Instagram, you do not want to miss what's happening on YouTube. You're going to be able to see my laptop screen there. So I'm going to monitor that. Jump in. So, what I want you guys to tell me firstly is how the stream looks. I want you to comment in the chat right now whether you like it, and if you like it, I want you to comment feel REF. And I'll tell you why in just a second. Feel REI is something that non-designers say to designers when they're as feedback where they don't know what to say. So it's a joke within designers where when you design something, you're like, bro, इसमें feel नहीं आ रही, कुछ change करना पड़ेगा, और इसमें feel आ रही है. So what I want you to guys tell me in the comments, this new stream design we have, do you feel it? Do you feel the? Do you feel it? That's what it is. I'm gonna, in the meanwhile, set the vibe. I'm gonna light some candles here. Alright guys, now we're about to get started. So how many of you guys were available or were there in the last stream? I want you to just quickly tell me that. Because we're going to be picking up based on where we left off. Even if you'd missed that, it's totally okay. Because what we're going to be doing this stream is going to be pretty different. So last stream, this is what we did roughly. We talked about the basics of UI UX design, which is what are the steps in the design process. We talked about what is the difference between UI design and UX design, the way these two fit together. We talked a little bit about just the basics of UI. UI is not really what it looks like, it's also the architecture, how you arrange information on a screen. This is what that looks like. So we took an example where we talked about WhatsApp if it was two different UIs. And we did this with very simple wireframes, where we talked about how the design on the left is better and it works better. If you want to check that out, if you want to be a part of those discussions, you can check out the previous live streams replay. In this live stream, however, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up where we left off right here. So we started designing the 10K Designers website, and we were talking about the different things that you need to be aware of when designing. Namely, these were text styles. How do you set text styles for a project? How do you pick colors? The HSB design scale for picking colors and setting a color palette for your design. We talked a little bit about how do you work with images in Figma. We talked a little bit about grids. You see this grid here. We talked about why you should use a 12 column grid versus an 8 column grid. What are the advantages of each? And we talked a lot about text properties as well. You can see this over here. If you guys missed that, you can check out the previous stream. Today, we're going to be building on top of this. So last stream, we only talked about this as a little bit of basics. But now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what this website should actually have. Because over the next couple of episodes, right, of this live stream, we're going to be brainstorming ideas on what this website has. So together, we're going to be figuring out what to put. We're going to be designing that in Figma, and we're going to be developing it in Webflow. When all of these things are done, we're going to launch it live, and this entire process, all of you guys watching will be able to see that end to end. So are you guys ready for that? Are you guys ready to get started? Leave something in the chat. So number one, the first thing you need to do right now, for everybody who's watching, I see about 40 people on the stream right now. It's changing, but there's about 40 right now. I want everybody who's on their computer to come and visit this Figma file. The reason I'm asking this is today we're going to do things a little differently. All of you, all of us are going to be on the same Figma file at the same time. And you can actually see me design right there. And once it's done, you can actually check everything out. I'll have the Figma file available for all of you to check out. So open that up right now. This is the URL. And I want you guys to all come on the chill out lounge right here. I want to just make sure everybody is in, and then we're going to get started.
Connected to an admin ads network code and admin ads icon. Connected to an admin ads icon. Disconnected.
All right, so we're going to start off with the brainstorming part of this. Roughly, if you look at the design process we talked about, the first step in any design process is to do research, right? And the way research works is very different based on what project it is. So, for let's say if you were working at a startup, guys, give me just 2 minutes. There's actually something I forgot about. I actually got a mic for the live streams, but I was so busy with setting up the stream that I actually forgot to set up the mic. I don't think I'm going to do that right now, but the next live stream, the audio is going to be way better. This is a really good mic. Okay, so we talked about the steps in the design process. The first one was research. Now, research for a design project, it's very dependent on what kind of project it is. So let's say if the design project is you're doing a feature for a startup, right? A startup that already has an app out there and you want to add a new feature to it. The research process would roughly look like figuring out what is the. So let's take an example, right? Let's talk about Uber as an app. Let's say you wanted to add a new feature which lets you do something. The research would look like figuring out how people use it currently, looking at the usage data around it, and then based on that making decisions on how you should proceed. Usually there are product managers who are also involved with this. At bigger companies you have people who are UX designers who do just UX. But what we're doing today we're doing a small project, which is we're doing something which is not in a big corporation. We're not doing something which is in a big enterprise. We're doing something which is a community initiative amongst all of us. So my research for this project is going to be actually asking you guys on chat right now, what do you want out of 10K designers, right? So roughly this should teach you about a little bit about how research is done. Maybe not in every single setting, but how you can do it at a low level, right? So firstly, let me tell you guys about what 10K design is. Research begins now. Let me tell you roughly about what 10K designers is. If you look at the total number of designers in India, it's actually very small compared to the rest of the world. One of the reasons for this is that if you look at historically, we've only now started making products at a bigger scale, right? Apps like Swiggy, Uber, Flipkart, Amazon didn't really weren't really a big thing in India maybe 10 years back. So now what we're going to do is, so this initiative 10K designers is an initiative by me. I'm somebody who's been a designer for the past 7 years. I've roughly figured this out myself, which is learning online, working with teams in Silicon Valley and Europe remotely, freelance, as well as some top startups in India. And what I want to do is I want to create this pathway where new designers have resources, Indian specific resources to actually study. So not only will this help designers find resources, become good designers, people who are already designers can learn from other designers as a community. And once you do this, you can get freelance projects, you can get internships, and um, you can get opportunities, design opportunities. So booklets.io, for example, is one of the websites that I'm doing. That's for learning. 10K Designers is going to be the hub where all of it comes together. And in 10K Designers, all of us together, we're going to make the design scene much better in India. The design scene in India, to be honest, is a little sad right now. There's not enough people sharing their knowledge, right? But that's about to change. 10K Designers is one of the things that's going to make that happen. So now you guys understand roughly what the 10K Designers movement is. I'm going to list out some ideas on the stream right here. If you guys have Figma open, you can just chill out in this lounge right here, this Pokemon lounge, where each thing is a Figma layer. And I want you guys to suggest in the chat. In the meantime, you can also check out what I'm thinking about about the ideas. So this is actually a document I put together when I first started the YouTube channel. This was a rough document to figure out if this was a course, right, like a Udemy course or a college course, what would the syllabus look like? So that's what this was. I have roughly followed this guideline. There are a few things here. Roughly, this should cover what you need to know as a designer. But I'm not sure videos is the best way to do all of this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to take a screenshot of this and put it in the Figma file so I can reference it faster. So typically in a design process, you would have a place in your Figma file just for research. That might be a dedicated research page. It might just be something like what I'm doing right now. This helps you collect resources, collect inspiration, and put it all in the same place where you're designing. Think of this like a mood board where you're collecting ideas for what the future is going to be. And folks, I'm going to need a lot more activity in the chat. This is something that I'm not going to be able to do it alone. If this was something I would do it alone, I would not be on stream. This stream is a way for us to do this together. We're collaborators on this project, which is why I've shared the Figma link with you guys. I want this to be 100% transparent, where I want you all to be able to see exactly how something is designed from start to finish. Harshal Bhavsar, you're an iOS mobile developer, you want to start how to understand UX, you're at the right place. Watch the previous videos in this, you're going to get a good understanding of what this is all about. Uh, and beyond that, I'm going to share a beta invite for one of my websites, booklets.io. You're going to find a lot of UX related resources there. How much of coding helps? You don't really need to code to be a designer. If you do, it might help you, but all designers are not developers. Some developers know how to design, some designers know how to develop. Alright, guys, so I'm just going to get started with a few ideas that I had in this. So, this was the home page. I'll show you guys what this looks like in Mirror as well. So this is what the website looks like right now. You can check this. Um, this was very basic. I wasn't actually thinking about what to put. This was just to demonstrate the capabilities of Figma. this worked. Yeah, okay. I want a quick, I want to run a quick poll in the chat. How many of you know Figma? Like, how many of you know a little bit about the basics of Figma? It's good to see that most of you know something about Figma. For those who don't, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of homework because this is actually a classroom. If you think about it, we're all studying this together. It's an interactive classroom. I'm going to give you a little bit of homework that I want you guys to do before the next live stream. If you're serious about studying design, you should follow this. This is not something that's going to take up a lot of time, but I want the people who don't know Figma to watch this video. People who don't know Figma, you should watch this video. It's a crash course on Figma. That way, we'll all be at the same level. Which video I'm talking about, bro? I just shared a link. Check that out. Save it to your bookmarks for later. Um, you guys should check out the rest of the videos on the channel. Things that are not going to be covered in the live stream, you might, in your own time, be able to go through all of that in the uh, recorded videos. So check that out. So right here, you can see I have a few ideas that I've put down. Um, one is YouTube videos about tools and process. This is already started. It's going on in the YouTube channel. Number two, I want to do more interviews with designers at startups, product companies, and agencies. This is so that there's a lot of designers out there who just don't have the time to actually teach or to talk about how they got where they did. So that would be really interesting to actually just have interviews and Q&A with all of these people. the Google Doc that you guys want to look at, you can technically check it out in Figma. I've pasted a screenshot, uh, but here's the link anyways. What are you guys feeling about this list of ideas so far? Um, what I would really appreciate if you guys can right now can just post in the comments which of these would be most useful. So for example, if you think all of them are useful, you can just paste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the comments. If you think some are more useful than others, paste that. I just want a quick voting kind of thing to understand what you guys would also be into. People on Instagram, I'm going to end this Instagram live stream right now because I'm not really talking. It might not be interesting for all of you. If you want to see what's happening on the YouTube live stream, this is what that looks like. We are actually designing in Figma right now. I am live right here. So check that out and I'll see you on YouTube. Bye bye. There's no way I can show you what's happening on Instagram. Instagram is not made for this kind of live stuff. Um, let's see. Let me see if I can. The live stream is happening on uh, YouTube. You can check that out right here. I'll see you guys. Bye bye.
Yeah.
What I'm doing now is now that we've listed overall, I'm going to go a little bit in depth into each of these. Normally, I would actually do all of this on paper, which is I would actually be writing this down, putting sticky notes on the wall. But since I'm on YouTube, this would be better. So the reason I'm putting each of these is we're going to go a little bit more into detail, and after that we'll start designing. After that, what we'll do is we'll figure out the IA, the information architecture for the site, which is what pages is it going to have, and how do you want people to use the site. For people who are watching, while you guys just think about this, watch me design. If you haven't subscribed already, I want you guys to hit the subscribe button right at the bottom. What it'll do is it'll actually send a notification in the stream. So that would be really cool. You'll actually be able to, your subscription will be saved on this stream forever. Fuck, screw this font, man. I'm gonna. This is too close to Comic Sans. Somebody's asking about Flinto. Um, I think Principal does have Figma import, if I'm not wrong. Flinto, I don't actually use it. I don't think Flinto is great. You should ideally be using Principal if you have Mac, or Protopy, which I think is on Windows as well. And I think both of these have Figma support. Okay, so let's talk about the first one now, about YouTube videos. Roughly, this is already going on. Tutorials for Figma, Protopy, Principal, and Webflow. If you guys want me to do tutorials for anything else, let me know. Based on that, I can change this plan. We're going to go in detail into each one of these right now. That's a good point, Khushbu. Thanks for pointing it out. Videos about process, research, wireframing, prototyping, and information architecture is not really a big this thing, but I'm gonna say planning, research, planning, working. Photoshop for UI UX is not relevant. I'm not saying because Photoshop is bad. Photoshop is great. That's what I started with, but that was 7 years ago. Today you should be using Figma. It's actually easier than Photoshop. So, guys, just tell me if you can think of anything else for this first category here. I'm gonna now move to the second category if this is all good. Collaboration with developers, yes, added. To the designers. What else? Who else do I know? Okay, I'll fill this up later. Podcasts, yeah, this could be a podcast technically. It could be a podcast or video. Culture of different companies, small startups, agencies, design agencies, uh, MNCs, so big startups, and MNCs. For students willing to learn Figma, I hope they are willing. A lot of them are. A lot of the people who are actually following are students. Um, but I don't think. But where are you talking about? Where should I include that? You could be a little bit specific. Choosing correct typography, I will include it here. But Tanvi, just so you know, I have 2 videos on YouTube about that. You can check that out. I might do more in detail, but that should cover the basics. Color rendition, Prashant, you should actually check out what your color profile is. There's something called sRGB, and there are different color profiles. What I'll do is I will share um on booklets. I have this one booklet on color profiles. I'll share that in the Telegram group later. Now, actually, we're about 48 minutes into the stream, what I'm going to do is just take a short break and actually share the Telegram group link with all of you. This Telegram group is where I'm going to be sharing the booklets.io beta invites. For people who don't know what Booklets is a website that I am working on, which helps you find bite-sized design courses, tutorials, and resources. So let's say something like how to become a better designer, how to negotiate. Why should you hear it just from me? You should hear it from all other designers who have different experiences. Booklets is one thing that will help you put all of that together. So the Telegram group link, I'm going to share it with you right now in the chat. And you will already, in that Telegram group, you're going to start seeing booklets links. That should technically give you access to the beta. But what I'll also do is I'll share the actual beta link with all of you once the live stream is over. We have these two figured out right now. I'm just going to go through the comments to see if there's something I missed out. Design theory, yes. Um, Adobe XD, I don't want to hear that name. Adobe XD sucks. But more than that, you're free to use it. I'm never going to use Adobe XD because I don't like Adobe or XD. Um, Also, you wouldn't be able to do this where 30 of us are on the same file collaborating together. So that's one of the reasons why we're not going to use XD at all, because it's not collaborative. It's still very old school. But for your personal work, you're free to use it. Figma, by the way, is free. You guys might not know this. A lot of people don't. Figma is paid only if you want to work in teams. Once you're at a startup, once you have a bigger team. But for personal use like this right here, I don't pay for Figma. Their website says you can have a limited number of projects. What I found is that that's actually not true. Uh, it's all good like this. Interview designers, I think roughly this is good. Okay, now I'm going to talk about a very important thing called portfolio reviews. I get a lot of feedback from you guys asking me to review portfolios. Um, so one interesting way I think that can happen is a course, a 30-day course on zero to portfolio. What this course is going to have, guys, can somebody share the Figma link again in the group chat? I don't want to be distracted while doing this. If you guys are using Figma, you should know how sharing works. Please try that out. what do you think about this portfolio reviews thing I'm doing? It's going to be a little harder to do because I've never done something like this before, and it's going to be actually a lot more work. It's not going to be simple at all. Uh, I want you guys to give me some feedback on this, please. What do you think of something like this? Manny, this will be live stream. This is only going to be live. But I have to be honest with you guys, this is actually a lot of work to do this because it can't just be me doing portfolio reviews for 20, 30, 40 people. I'm going to need a few more designers to actually help me with this. So there's a chance that this portfolio reviews thing, I might have to make it paid, which is I only want the reason I might have to make it paid is firstly only want people who are actually building their portfolio to be in this course. I don't want people to just come and watch. This needs to be a very hands-on thing where you actually have to do a lot of work. It's not just watching. And secondly, it might need to be paid because I need to get other designers on, and for their valuable time, I'm gonna need probably hire some people as interns to cover that. So I'm not sure right now, but just an FYI, yeah. Because most of the stuff will be free, but something like this, which is personalized feedback, I don't want it to be bad. Which is I don't want it to be free, but then you guys suffer. So this might be something that's paid. And one way that I can make it better for you guys is for the people who is for the paid course like this one. I can actually possibly 80% guarantee you placement. This sounds like a very college thing. I'm not 100% sure about this, but if you actually do pay for this course and do all of this, actually make the portfolio. I help you reach out to companies. Once you get that job, I will actually help you get the job, and technically you'll make back your money from your first month's salary. Technically, right? So I can make it paid, and I can give you a little bit of a guarantee that you will get a job. Not 100%, but maybe 80%. I can guarantee you that, assuming you put in all the work. If you put in all the work, then 100% I can guarantee you will find an opportunity. Um, so guys, that's portfolio reviews. What I want you to do right now is I want you to use the comment feature on Figma, which is you don't have to do it right now. You can probably do this later as well. But For you guys to leave feedback on this, I want you to use the comment feature. So if you could just do this, where on Figma, press the C key, hit this, and you can just leave a comment. So tomorrow, let's say when I'm reviewing this file, I'll have a bunch of feedback from all of you. When you are working with developers, when you're working with product managers, when you're working on freelance projects, this is how you should be collecting feedback. You should not be collecting feedback on the call or just in a meeting room. You should actually ask your clients to actually leave you feedback like this, because this is more structured. This way you can actually form a to-do list right within Figma of things that you need to do. So just like this, and all the comments will be available here. So I hope you guys understand this, which is me doing this right now. I'm almost working with you guys in the way that I would work with a client. So you're actually learning a lot about the process of how to design. Outside of just moving pixels around, what else is involved? I'm going to move on to the next thing here, which is weekly live streams to design together. So I think live streams will roughly have two categories. One would be process, which is this live stream, and one would be tutorial, which was the last live stream. Tutorials would be more hands-on, which is I'm going to be explaining every single thing. Process will be outside of just how to move pixels, which is how do you actually do projects. I think that's about it for this. Anything else you guys think we can do together on live stream? Give me ideas, please. I'll include that right here. Let me just break down what process and tutorial will be. Process will be research, web and app design, live freelance project. What do you guys think about this? Technically, I don't do freelance projects anymore, but assuming I did, what if I did the whole freelance project in a live stream? Not freelance, let me call this live freelance slash side project. It's technically what we're doing right now. Design sprints, that's a good idea. I'll put interviews also over here. Tutorial will be tools for design. Um, this is something that we can do together. So daily UI, for example, is a week. Daily you just make some random stuff. I don't think that's really good. Uh, but if there's a challenge,
Páginas not but disconnected. Ready to pair. Connected to Páginas not but
hope we're all good internet wise. Um, guys, I need ideas for challenges, things we can do together. I agree, daily UI is trash. We need to do something way better, something that I think it would be really cool. For example, like 10K designers is a hashtag 10K designers. If on Instagram you could just search for this and you could see what everybody is working on or what all of us are working on. So please share some challenge ideas we can do together. I've just listed two for now. Mockups of apps, that's good. I added two challenges, app design challenge and landing page design challenge. It's a good idea. Ideally, I want to keep just one hashtag. Maybe 10K designers is good for that. But let's see. Right now, I don't think there's much content on 10K designers. I mean, like the hashtag on Twitter, on Instagram, I don't think it will return much. But that's a good idea. Do I have to give the JEE exam? No, you don't, dude. If you want to get into IIT, that's a totally different thing. People who get into IIT don't become designers, but there are some designers who are from IIT. I hope you understand what that means. Guys, the recreating part, copying UIs, redesigning apps, recreating websites. Personally, I wouldn't put that as a challenge. The reason for that is recreating websites is something you should do in your as practice, but it's not really the best for sharing. Recreating websites is not the best for sharing because if you recreate really well and you share it on Instagram, people are going to be like, what did you actually design? And if you don't redesign it really well, you do it very normally and it's not as good, people are going to say it's bad. So the redesigning stuff, I would say you should probably keep it private. You should use it to practice, but it's not something you can. I don't think it's something you can put in your portfolio. You can under some circumstances, but yes, that's what I think about that. So guys, this live stream is going to be, I think maybe for 15-20 more minutes. So I'm just going to cover a little bit of each of these. I want you guys to give me more suggestions as comments. So please don't forget this. Once this live stream is over, use this comments feature to leave ideas. You really need to do this. The reason is you need to get comfortable with Figma, and this is technically a real live project. So this is a really good way to get comfortable, which is giving me feedback and answering comments on other people's feedback and just discussing it together. Manny, that's a good idea. A problem. I'm going to call that giving a problem statement is a good idea. What do you guys think about if we did a challenge? What if we did a challenge where I got in touch with, let's say, the product team at a good startup, like let's say Unacademy, for example, and I said, what is something that you guys are designing right now, right? Like let's say you're working on a new live class feature, you're working on something, or let's say something like I get in touch with the Swiggy team, and I'm like, can you guys give me a problem statement, something that we can all work on together? And so like their problem statement might be, we have our supply side app. Drivers are not able to figure out something, something, something. So based on that, I can actually put it as a challenge for everybody. I can actually put that company's challenge, so that startup's challenge. You all can individually work on it. And the good part about that is if you do it well, you can actually get an internship or a job at that company. So I think that's something we should do. Please give me your feedback on that. Um, As a beginner, I don't think it should be possible. But hey, this is a live classroom. You need to do your homework. So right after this is done, I would say go watch all the videos on YouTube. That will take you from a beginner to not a beginner anymore, right? If you're a beginner, you should be working on yourself. I don't know if I should call it problem statement or I can say the internship challenge. Khushbu, as a beginner, you might not be able to solve these three. Maybe personal brand is a little hard as well. So I think the challenges would have certain difficulty levels. Um, I'll talk about that, I guess, once we get into individual challenges, once we actually do this. But I would say, like Khushbu, I think you should also, Khushbu and Udaya, you guys should think about it this way also, which is the next challenge, for example, will probably be like realistically, we'll probably do this only in Feb or March, right? Because we're still building the website. So by Feb or March, you should practice a lot. You should watch all the courses on YouTube. You should browse and learn from booklets.io. And this way you'll be able to move up from a beginner. So moving from a beginner to slightly above beginner only takes about 1 week or 2 weeks, right? So please keep practicing along with it. This live stream, think of it as a classroom, but once this live stream is over, you still need to self study. So that's a good way to think about that. Crisis management. I don't know what crisis management is. Crazy television, I told you, bro. You don't need to get into IIT JEE. You don't need to get into IIT to become a designer. People who go to IIT don't become designers, but there are some designers who are from IIT, right? What that should tell you is that you should do it if you want to, but if your goal is to become a designer, technically you don't need it. I didn't go to IIT, right? Like my team at Unacademy, it's a total of 8 people, and I think maybe only one or two of them went to IIT. So, yeah. Okay, guys, the last one here, job board. This is going to be very interesting. Um, what I'm thinking when it comes to this is, and crazy television. Oh, you're talking about USEED? USEED is if you want to get an NID, right? Again, I'll tell you, people who go to NID, not necessarily they become the best designers in the world. I didn't go to NID, I didn't go to any design school, I just did engineering. If you want to, it's good because you get to meet people there and you get to have a fun time in college. And it's a more structured thing, like people will teach you. All you have to do is show up in a classroom. Curated special access. What do you guys think about this? The job board, should it be open to all or should it be only for 10K designers members? Personally, I think if it was open to all, it would just become like LinkedIn, where you already have these job posts and hundreds of people are applying. Something like this would be better. because this way, like, I'll be able to personally connect you guys to these companies, and I will know how good you are, so I can suggest what you should, practice or improve upon. What do you guys think about this? Um, let's say we did the job board thing. Do you think we could connect uh, this idea and this idea, the challenge courses, and the job board, which is people who've done this challenge, they can actually use that to actually apply it. What do you think about that? I don't know how exactly we'll do it, but I think it's possible. It can be done. Okay, guys, so that took a really long time. We're about 1.5 hours into the stream. That was just brainstorming. To be totally real with you guys, this is actually how long it takes to do things. Sometimes longer when you have to discuss it with other people, get approvals, get feedback, get more research. This is actually how long it takes. Um, but what I'll just do quickly is let me just increase the size of this. And I want you all quickly to go over this, because this, if we are all fine with it, this is going to be what we're going to be designing in the uh, next few episodes of 10K Designers. So Sheil's resume, yeah, it sort of becomes like a resume, or I would say, even if not a resume, it becomes a resume project, where let's say this this internship or problem statement challenge. Let's say you did it for a company like let's say Ola. When you're applying for an Ola internship, you can actually use that to apply. But more than that, I think you should be able to apply all of this stuff. So we're going to end the stream in about 10 minutes. This is the end of the stream. Um, I know I couldn't do too much design work in this. This was mostly a process video, right? And this is as important as design. This is as important as the actual pixel stuff. Because think about this. Wait, hold on. There's a comment which is place to add feedback. That's a good idea. It's a really good idea. Let me add it here. Uh, place to ask for feedback. Okay, what I was saying was, you guys might think now, right? that we did all of this stuff and we didn't actually do any design in this live stream. Uh, but to be very honest with you guys, this part of the design process, which is research and planning, is way more important than the actual designing, which is the pixels and stuff. Because if you didn't spend time on doing this, and if you were just like, ha, matlab, kar denge, if you didn't actually properly spend time, what would happen is that you would start designing the wrong things, which is you would design things which are either not important or you would design something that people actually don't care about, people don't want. And if you start designing the wrong features and then you develop them also, you spend all that time only to realize 2 months later, bro, this is something people don't even want. Like nobody actually cares about this. That's actually really bad. So one of the purposes of research is to do validation, which is to the idea that you have in your head, make sure other people think they're good ideas as well, just by getting feedback. Sometimes people will still tell you, bro, that's not a good idea. It's okay. You don't need to listen to others, but do take their feedback. Just listen to them at least, because you never know. The next time you're brainstorming, you might remember something somebody told you. Beta invites will be shared in the Telegram group. Please go join it. It's t.me/abnux. This beta right now of booklets.io is the version 1.1. This is the January beta. There are a few versions. This is the one that everybody has right now. This is the one I'm sharing with everybody. For people who signed up on, let me just show you guys a little bit. People who signed up for this, I will be sending you invites, but I'll be sending it later, which is you probably won't get the 1.1 invite if you sign up for this email list. You might get 1.5 or 2.1. So you can sign, you should definitely leave your email here. But other than that, if you want the invite which is there right now, January's beta, you should join the Telegram group. You'll be able to find it there. So, folks, 5 minutes left for this live stream. I want you all to share some feedback. This is an important part for me. If you guys think about it, this is just my second live stream. And I feel like we've come so far. Like, I'm already recognizing familiar names in the chat, in the Figma file. I'm getting to know you guys much better, right? And hopefully, the next few episodes we do, right? I want to actually understand you guys and be able to know how good you are at design, what level you're at, right? So that is definitely going to happen. Think of this as a classroom. People are coming in and out right now, but if you guys stick on, I'm definitely going to know you guys. I'm going to remember what you asked last time, and this is how that's going to work. So, is there a set schedule? That's a good idea. That's a good question. These live streams are going to happen every 2 days at best case scenario. So if you did one today, the next would be day after tomorrow. But that's not guaranteed because I still have like a lot of other obligations, like my job to do, as well as my side projects. So these live streams, there's going to be, in a week, there's going to be a few. There would be about maybe 2 or 3 live streams every single week. I also want you guys to think a little bit about this, which is we're doing this live project together. We're learning so much about each other. We're also, you should also think about, like, this is a community. We are iterating on the live streams. Just the second live stream, I think we're so much better than the first one. I personally, for me, doing these live streams, it's a design project because I get to not only work with real people, which is you guys, but I also get to do something that is actually impactful. So that's really great for me. I want you guys to keep sharing your feedback. in the Telegram group as well as here. And folks, I can tell you this is as real as it gets, right? This is as real as it gets. The only other place you're gonna have this kind of experience is gonna be design school, right? Because think about think about online courses, right? Udemy and shit. Like, you don't want to sit and watch a video. You want to actually be able to talk to the person who's teaching you. Think about courses. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of great courses in, um, in Bangalore. Like this design board, this design shift, a bunch of these. They are, I'm sure they do teach you a lot. But this you're not going to find anywhere else. Nobody else, according to my knowledge, is doing something like this. So please keep giving me feedback. That's the only way I can improve these streams. By feedback, even if you just tell me everything is going fine, that is valuable feedback to me. Somebody mentioned the mic. I actually did buy a mic. I'll set this up for the next live stream. I was so involved with the design of the stream, this layout and shit, that I totally forgot to set this up. So next stream we'll have that. Thank you all for watching. This has been really fun for me. I will see you in the next live stream, and I will see you in the Telegram group, right? And hopefully next few classes, I want to get familiar with all of you. So please come back if this is something you're into. If you're serious about becoming a designer, let's study together and let's figure this out. See you guys on Telegram. The link is t.me/abnux. Bye-bye and good night.